Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Sideline Eye podcast. You're very welcome to our first review show of the year for the club football, and it's our Around the Grounds podcast, which we'll try to bring in every couple of weeks, depending on the Armagh games. But there was the start of the league, of course, today, so we'll get a look at all the divisions and all the league tables and see the big ins and outs from the opening day of action. We're also going to hear from Madden's Conor Grimley. He spoke to Armagh TV's Kieran Lynch after they defeated Crossmaglen on the opening day. So we're going to hear that interview at the end of the podcast. But first of all, we're going to run through all the divisions and all the league tables and give a roundup of the first weekend of action. So starting in Division 1A then. Two goals in the opening 10 minutes helped Madden earn a 5-point win in the opening round of the Division 1A campaign. Both goals arrived just minutes apart, giving Mark Hart's men a good foothold in the game. Aaron McKenna palmed home the game's first goal after Conor Grimley played him through following a 1-2 with Oisin O'Hara. Keelan Valley then rattled the Crossmaglen net for a second time with the aid of the crossbar. That gave the Rapparees a 3-point lead when the half-time whistle sounded, and the scoreboard read Madden 2-5, Crossmaglen 0-8. The sides swapped scores at the second half, with Grimley cancelling out a Caleb Comiskey effort. 3 points on the bounce saw the Rangers tie the game with Dara O'Callaghan, James Thielen, and a Stephen Morris free levelling things up. But Madden finished the stronger of the two teams, outscoring their opponents 0-8 to 0-3 in the final 20 minutes. Elsewhere in the top tier, defending Division 1A League champions Clonard made a winning start to the campaign as they beat Mullabon at home. The sides were separated by just 3 points in the end, with the hosts winning 117 to 211. Clonard edged the opening half to hold a slender 1 point lead when the half-time whistle sounded, with Clonard ahead 0-10 to 0-9. Both sides hit the net after the turnaround as Rory McDonald claimed Clonard's green flag, while Mullabon goalkeeper Kieran Grant bagged two goals, both from penalty kicks. Clevey defeated Silverbridge away from home on Sunday, finishing 118 to 214. Aaron Duffy and Owen Reel both hit the net for the home side, while Ronan McGuinness slotted home a second half penalty for Clevey. Newly promoted Clonagale earned a victory over Armagh Harps in the first round of the league. Both sides hit the net in the first half, with Michael Tolan claiming the Clans three-pointer, while Jason Hughes netted for the Harps in a game that ended 115 to 19 in favour of Clonagale. The Division 1A league table after the opening round of action in Clonagale are currently top. Of course, just on score difference, there are four teams on 2 points: Clonagale, Madden, Clonard, and Clevey, all on 2 points after the opening weekend of action. And that leaves Silverbridge, Mullabon, Crossmaglen, and Armagh Harps at the bottom of the table, all on 0 points so far after one game. In Division 1B, then, there were only two games this weekend, and it was Cullyhanna who got their Division 1B campaign up and running with a win over Greenmore. Stephen Reel's men were 4 points better off on home turf, winning 110 to 0-9 in the end. A first half goal from Neil McCreesh gave the 2024 All Ireland Intermediate champions a 2 point cushion at the interval, with Cullyhanna ahead 1-5 to 0-6. They pushed on after the team swapped sides at half-time to win by 4 points. Elsewhere in Division 1B, Cullaville made a winning start to the season as they defeated St Peters by 4 points. Cullaville were not 6 to not 9 ahead at half-time before stretching their lead to not 17 to not 13 by the time the full-time whistle sounded. So the 1B table then, Cullaville and Cullyhanna are currently the top two, having won their opening two rounds, while St Peters and Greenmore are at the bottom of the table. Of course, there were only two games on, so there were four teams out of action, and that's Carcruppen, Jumonty, Mahray, and Pearstrode there in the middle of the table at the minute, and they're going to get their campaigns up and running over the next couple of weeks. Down to Division 2A then, and Ballymcnab saw off St Paul's with 4 points to spur in the opening round of the Division 2A league campaign, winning 0-17 to 110 in the end. With the aid of the breeze at their backs, the Knob came from 4 down at half-time to win by 4 points. Ballymcnab made the brighter start, but scores from Aidan Toner and Pierce Hughes were cancelled out by a Ryan Lawless free, a 2 point free. Kieran Hughes and Cormac McKee restored Ballymcnab's lead, but this time Anton McParland landed a two-pointer to level everything up once again. Ryan Lawless nudged the hosts ahead for the very first time with a free before Aaron Hughes tied the score. Two further St Paul's two-pointers put them 4 points ahead when the short whistle sounded, with the scoreboard reading St Paul's 0-9, Ballymcnab 0-5. Ryan Waters and Kieran Hughes landed frees before Kieran Hughes kicked a 2-point free to tie things up at the start of the second half. Anton McParland put St Paul's in front again, but another Kieran Hughes two-pointer saw the lead swap hands once more. A stunning Ryan Waters two-pointer out and put some distance between the teams, but an Aaron Rodgers goal kept St Paul's in touch. Another two-pointer from Hughes, along with a Brogan Gray point scored in the dying minutes, gave Ballymcnab the 2 points on offer. Also in Division 2A then, Sarsfields secured a slim 1 point victory over Keady away from home, coming from 2 down at half time to win by 1. Two second half goals from the visiting side saw them steal ahead by the time the final whistle sounded. A superb Michael Stevenson goal in the first half wasn't enough to give Sarsfields the lead at half time. Instead, they trailed 0-7 to 1-2, with James O'Hara leading the line for Keady with a couple of his 2 point scores. Sarsfields hit another two goals after the turnaround, with Thomas McAlinden and Colin McCann raising green flags. James O'Hara also nailed a penalty for Keady as they lost out 112 to 3-7 in the end. Elsewhere, Tullysarn defeated Whitecross 122 to 19, with James Madden, who finished with 1-1 bagging the goal for the hosts. Mark McKeever and Gavin Conlon top scored for Tullysarn with 0-6 apiece, and Eddie Malone also chipped in with 0-4 for Tullysarn. So the Division 2A league table as it stands, Tullysarn, Ballymcnab and Sarsfields are all at the top. Tullysarn hold number 1 position due to their superior score difference at the minute. Blake and Shane O'Neill's were due to play on Sunday, but an injury to the referee about 10 minutes into the game saw the game abandoned, so that game will have to be rescheduled at a later date. Keady, St Paul's and Whitecross are the bottom 3 at the minute after the opening round of fixtures. Into Division 2B then, and Derrynoose and Forkhill played out a high-scoring game on Sunday, with Derrynoose shading proceedings by just 3 points in the end, 3-13 to 2-13. The home side trailed by 1 at half-time, but 2 second-half goals by Davy McCreesh were the key scores in their victory. McCreesh was responsible for all 3 Derrynoose goals on the day, and his first had them 1-3 to no score ahead early on. Forkhill fought back with a major of their own from Cormac Toner, and that helped them lead by the minimum of margins at half-time, leading 1-5 to 1-4. Two Conor McNally two-pointers gave Derrynoose the lead again before Davy McCreesh raised a second green flag. A third three-pointer from McCreesh arrived around the final quarter mark, putting Derrynoose 9 points clear. Once again, Forkhill bottled their way back into the game, and an Owen Rowe-Neil goal helped them to close the gap. Forkhill landed the final 4 points of the day, but ultimately it wasn't enough for them to get something from the game. Elsewhere then, in Division 2B, Arnkmore defeated last year's junior champions College Land on the opening day of the season, winning 114 to 0-10. A Ben Toll major helped Grange see off Clanner in seconds, winning 115 to 0-12, while Wolftones beat Tiernanog 116 to 1-9, with Paddy Judge and Jamie McAleenan hitting the net for their respective teams. Division 2B league table then, Ankmore and Wolftones are the front runners on score difference there at the top of the table, with Grange and Derrynoose also joined up there, all 4 teams on 2 points. That leaves Forkhill, Clonard in seconds, College Lawn and Tiernanog at the bottom after the opening round with 0 points to show for their efforts. Division 3A then, Portmore were impressive winners away to St Peter's Seconds on Sunday as they kick-started their campaign with a win. Last year's beaten junior finalists bagged 7 goals to win by 13 points in the end, 7-14 to 2-16. The Kieran brothers, Justin and Cormac, raised all 7 green flags themselves from Portmore. Justin fired home 5 goals, while Cormac chipped in with 2 to see them win by 13 in the end. Ballyhagan also opened their account with a first round win, seeing off Crossmaglen seconds by 13 points. Likewise, it was the goals that helped Ballyhagan claim the victory on the day on all four of their majors came in the first half. James McCormick was the main man up front for Ballyhagan and he shot off a hat-trick of goals plus a few two-pointers. Rory McGrain also bagged a Ballyhagan goal to see them win 4-16 to 2-9. Thomas Davis earned a hard-fought one-point win over Clonmore in the opening round. The sides were equally matched at half-time, but Thomas Davis edged things after the turnaround to win 118 to 117, while Middletown beat Earl 114 to 112. The league table at the minute then sees Portmore and Ballyhagan, the front runners on score difference. They both are top of the table, joined on 13 points in terms of score difference, and they're joined by Middletown and Thomas Davis also on 2 points. While at the bottom, it's Clonmore, Earl, St Peter's seconds, and Cross seconds, who have zero so far after the opening day. Division 3B, then, of course, there's 13 teams competing in Division 3B. 12 of those teams were in action, and Killian had a bye on the opening day. Clady began their 2025 season with a win over St Michael's Newtown, winning 0-18 to 0-16. Liam Doyle top scored for Clady with 0-6, while Sean Savage, Colin Savage, and Jared McGowan all chipped in with 0-2. Redmond O'Halloran's also got up and running with a 12-point victory over Madden seconds on Sunday afternoon. The sides were evenly matched in the first half, with O'Halloran's just edging things 1-6 to 1-4 at half time. But the home side pushed on in the second half, and 3 goals after the turnaround helped them win 4-13 to 110. Adam Callaghan claimed 2 of the majors, while debutant Shawnee Hoskins and Owen McNally also found the net for O'Halloran's. The Summon and Drummond seconds finished all square, 0-13 to 110. The Summon looked to have secured the victory late on, getting their noses ahead at the end, but a late Aidan Morgan free ensured a share of the spoils. Clonaghill seconds and Armagh Harp seconds also couldn't be separated, drawing 1-7 each, while Clevey seconds beat Dorsey 0-8 to 0-6. Silverbridge seconds made a winning start to the season, beating Mullabrack 3-18 to 3-5. Andrew Duffy, Dara Kelly and Jimmy Campbell claimed the goals for Silverbridge seconds. So the league table at the minute, there's 4 teams at the top, and that's O'Halloran's, Silverbridge seconds, Clady and Clevey seconds. Then we have Lesummon, Drummond seconds, Harp seconds, and Clan seconds, all on 1 point. They drew their opening round games. And at the bottom, there's Killian, Dorsey, St Michael's Newtown, Mullabrack, and Madden seconds, all on 0 points. So still obviously a long way to go in the leagues. There's a lot to play for over the next wee while, over the next coming weeks and months. So we'll keep across it as usual with our match reports, our podcasts, our previews, interviews, and everything else that's going to be coming up, all club related over the next wee while. So we're going to hear from Conor Grimley now. He spoke to Kieran Lynch after the Madden and Cross game, and we'll be back on Thursday. We'll have a county podcast on Thursday. We'll be looking ahead to the first round of the Ulster Championship as Armagh take on Antrim. So we'll hear from everybody then, and make sure to follow us across all our social media pages and subscribe to our YouTube channel or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. So we're going to hear from Conor Grimley now, and I'll chat to everybody once again on Thursday.
So we're here at Madden's Conor Grimley. Conor, winning start. Good to come down here to Crossmaglen and get 2 points on the board.
Yeah, that's a nice way to start. It's always good to start with a win. You're trying to set your stall out, I suppose, for the rest of the league. But I mean, everyone's still sort of getting used to the rules, getting used to the style of football. But no, I thought we done well there. I mean, it's a good day, a perfect day for football. So I think we maybe got a couple of goals early in the first half, which sort of set us in good stead, and weathered a bit of storm at the start of the second half, and lucky enough got over the line there in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was level with about 10 minutes to go, but you just got that push at the end and showed good energy and good character to get over the line and ultimately to see it out.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've plenty of good players. I mean, a lot of our forward line especially are probably older. I mean, Joey and Arno had a great first half, and myself have been about right few years now, so you're sort of used to being in these positions, pointing it either way, and you just have to finish strong, be clinical up top, get your nose in front, and hopefully see it out. So yeah, we've done that today, lucky enough.
Yeah, and everybody's on the same foot, and I know, but in terms of the new rules, what's your sort of take on them in terms of A, how you're adapting to them, and then B, do you like what they've brought into the game?
Yeah, of course. I think it's freshened the whole football side up of it. The last couple of years have probably went slightly stale in football. It was hard to watch some games, but I think the new rules, we played 5 friendlies and that game there, so we're still getting used to it. But you see a lot more kicking. You see in Fitzpatrick even on cross, and even Aaron McKenna for ourselves scoring unbelievable scores. That's what people's here to see. And even playing in the rules of the forward, you're getting far more space than 1v1s, which is ideal. So it's definitely freshened the whole thing up. So no, it's great so far.
Absolutely, you need to back yourself to score a couple of 2-pointers.
Well, yeah. Hopefully it's nice to have a bit of a breeze in the second half, which we did. Cross got a couple in the first 10-15 minutes of the first half. So the wind is a big factor you've seen in the county games, but no, I think it's still important, knocking over your 1-pointers, and if you can get a couple of goals ideally, but the 2-pointers are a big swing if you can get a couple on your side.
Yeah, absolutely. You touched on already now that the win on the board. You got Mullaban next week, so I suppose it's just building, isn't it? Now getting as many points as you can, especially early in the league.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you can start 3 or 4 out of 4, you're not looking too far ahead. But if you can get a good start, you're definitely thinking down the line you might get top of the table or it. But no, definitely it's one game at a time. You're still sort of Mullaban will be a tough challenge. We played them last year in the quarterfinal, and they'll be looking to get us back for last year. So now you're looking forward to next week and hopefully get another win. Yeah,
absolutely. A lot to look forward to. Thanks very much for your time.
All right, cheers. Thank you. Goodbye.